Romantic love is not the answer to all your problems, although we will speak on romance in just a moment. See, love has been all around me all my life, but it's difficult to notice sometimes, especially when it's not the kind of love that you desire. We so often fail to recognize the love that's right in front of us. We have trouble paying attention during dinner with our parents because we're too busy checking our phones to see if that one person texted us back. Mom's trying to have a conversation with you, she's asking how your day was, and all you're giving is cold, short answers. You're not there. We take little moments of love like that for granted. A meaningful life is built on many different forms of love, writes Natasha Lund in her book Conversations on Love. The conversations in her book made me reflect back on the series of love stories that I've had in this 20-something year long life of mine, and you will find several pieces from that book woven into this little film. I think back on my first love, which I would describe as beautiful naivety. It was intense, filled with ups and downs, and one that may have shaped me in more ways than I know. I recall the heavy feeling of leaving a person's home for the last time, getting in the taxi, not knowing what to do with the space that the presence of this person had left behind. I think about a summer that I spent with Harry, let's call him. I knew that Harry was not my future person, but he was my person at that moment. For one summer, I lived in a fantasy in the shadow of what would never be. In the midst of late night ice cream dates and bike rides to the lake, I wondered how something that felt so good could possibly be wrong. When summer ended and we ended, I knew that I had just had 3 months of extraordinary experience, and that was all that it was ever meant to be. One realization that slowly unwrapped itself in my life has been that fantasy can be strangely addicting, stealing away opportunity of truth by making you see love where there isn't none, making you see a future where there isn't one. Have you ever, perhaps unknowingly, shrunk yourself in your attempts to make this fantasy of yours reality by pretending that you too love live concerts or tapas or classic jazz, hoping that they will view you the same way that you view them, as someone that they would like to stick around? You take this further by pretending like your needs aren't actually your needs, acting like you don't mind the inconsistent communication or the fact that they never show up in time or the fact that you got no flowers for your birthday. Soon enough, you're pretending like you don't need anything at all. Sometimes you may think that communicating your needs and expectations makes you needy. But ironically, the longer your needs are left unmet, the needier you become. It's exactly how you end up feeling lonely despite not being alone, because love is a series of actions that say, I see you. And when you're not feeling seen, it's difficult to feel loved. So learning to recognize and to ask for what you need may be one of your greatest assets in any kind of relationship, including the relationship that you have with yourself. But why do we sometimes lie to ourselves about what we long for? Part of it, I believe, stems from fear, especially the fear of the unknown. We may tell ourselves that we're happy to be single and independent while secretly desiring a romantic companion in our lives. Why? I guess we're protecting ourselves, because what if it doesn't work out that way and we're left feeling disappointed, perhaps even ashamed? I know I have found myself pondering questions like, will I ever find my person? Will all of this time invested in this relationship have been worth it? Will we end up back together? And this uncertainty does not only apply in romance. I equally find myself wondering things like, will I ever achieve the level of success that I aspire to? Will I ever have a big kitchen overlooking a yard? I just wish someone would just tell us how life will unfold. That way we would be able to relax and enjoy the journey and plan accordingly. The thought of wasting time and energy on things that won't lead to where we want it to lead can be quite daunting, and I think it's a fear many of us share. What if I do spend 10 years in this career and never get that promotion? What if I spend 20 years with this person and they end up cheating on me? Really, life is just throwing yourself out there and hoping for the best. But as Natasha Lon writes, maybe there's comfort in knowing that whatever we have or don't have compared to each other, we share the same vulnerability to randomness. Now, how do we embrace this uncertainty and doubt? I love this quote by Rainer Maria Rilke. Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves. Like locked rooms and like books that are now written in a very foreign tongue, do not now seek the answers, which cannot be given you because you will not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. It reminds me to be grateful for the journey, wherever it might take me. And I often think about this. If I was no longer on this earth and I got the chance to experience just one more day, what would I do? The answer always comes back to this. I would want to re-see all the love and beauty that I took for granted. Music that gives me goosebumps, the weight of my dog as he jumps up on my bed in the morning, the feeling of putting on a warm pair of socks in the cold winter, the softness of the hands of a loved one, the comforting sound of birds singing in the morning, the cozy feeling of newly washed linens against my skin. I know I'm currently living the moments that I will one day miss, and as sorrowful of a knowledge that might be, I hope it makes me be more aware of the fragility of life and the preciousness of ordinary moments. Each day we have to fight small battles to notice the love that's right in front of us. And in the words of Natasha Lon, in my search for love, I have learned to see that I already have it.